What's up, y'all? Welcome to your first, hopefully, if all goes as planned, this is kind of your first rundown of Fusion, formerly known as Fusion 360. This is our 3D design software. There are many like it, but this is the one that we run with. It's the one that I'm most comfortable in. I really enjoy it. Again, there are others, but this is one that we're going to use. This will hopefully be a short video just showing you kind of the brass tacks of like what all this is and everything else. So without further ado, let's dive in. Hopefully you guys are here. You're looking at this like grid thing and you're going, okay, what's next? You have, at this point, you've gotten logged in correctly. You were invited by Mr. Riley. You got to create your account, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully you get all of that stuff done. So if you're here, that's awesome. Welcome. Let's dive in, okay? The first thing we're going to talk about is not this space, okay? The first thing we want to talk about is our data panel, okay? So look right up here in our top left corner. There's kind of this grid space. These are your files. You're probably going to see something that looks like this. There's probably stuff in there useful for you. Go look at it. I'm not going to address it. So that is probably not what we're going to do, okay? So let's go back here. You saw that. Let's go here. Okay, so double click there. This is admin project. That doesn't, I don't know, sound right, but that's what you guys are looking for. So you go ahead and click on that. So the admin project, this is where you're going to find all your files, okay? So look here, I've done an okay job at organizing all my files. It's amazing how quickly they're going to add up. Once you get the hang of it, you're going to be in there designing stuff all the time, hopefully, okay? So it makes sense to create some files. Some file folders. You can see I've got different themes going on here, some design practice, stuff for like the shop and DFAB stuff, my own personal stuff that I design for my own needs, sprinters and etc. Oh, there's my sprinter stuff. And then a bunch of other stuff that I have never bothered to organize, and look how chaotic this is, okay? So don't be like me. Be like me up here, organize your stuff. Don't be like me down here where you just got this long list of random things that you've created over time, okay? So this is your data panel. This is where you can access all your old files, okay? So as you're working on projects, that's where you're gonna go. You don't wanna be looking at this all the time, so just go ahead and click, and there you go, it's gone, okay? So there's that, access, close your access, okay? All right, now let's go down here to our browser tree, okay? Let's do this first, okay? Actually, before we do the browser tree, let's jump right over here to your name, this little corner right up here, preferences. Let's see how quickly I can find this. I didn't rehearse this part, so I didn't rehearse any of this, so hopefully it doesn't take too long. Watch me struggle through all this, okay? Yep, defaults, all that's good, all that's good, all that's good. What you want right here, this is what's gonna matter the most, okay? We don't need that. We're gonna be in design, manufacture and design, both of these. If it says millimeters or centimeters or anything, actually, if it says anything other than inches, make sure that you change it to inches, okay? So that's right in here. Default units, you know how much I love the metric system. Our lives would be so much easier if the US adopted the metric system, but we haven't yet. So we're gonna stay in inches. That's what we're gonna stay with, okay? Yeah, that's it, okay? So cool. So hit apply, hit okay, all that cool stuff. Also, in your browser tree, just make sure that it says right here, as you're working on projects, units are inches, ounces for mass, okay? If it says millimeters or anything like that, just click on that and switch it, okay? So make sure that you've got it switched. When your default is set, it'll automatically make that, but this first file is probably in millimeters or something, so just be aware of that. The next one is going to be a little tricky, a little confusing, especially as you get started. Let me see here. There's a good chance that when you log in for the first time, it's going to ask you if you want to do part design, assembly design, or hybrid design. This is an update that happened just recently at the time of making this video. As you get more advanced in Fusion, you might need all this, but right now we're just going to stick with part design, okay? So there's your part design. Make sure it says that. If it says something else, I think it'd be sufficient to just keep it as part design. Again, it's something that you can worry about later. Okay, so there's that. So this is your browser tree. We got to make some stuff before we can see what's in the browser tree, but realize that we're going to reference back to this browser tree often, okay? Let's take a look at this. See how it says unsaved? We haven't done anything yet, but let's go ahead and go through the process of saving work, okay? So I haven't done anything, but that's fine. I'm going to start with the file name at least. So I'm going to select save. It's up here in the corner, or Control S for save. You youngins don't know what it means to hit Control S, learn. Okay, so I'm just going to call this sample. And then right here where it says location admin project, I can drop that down, and here's all my files. So if I wanted to be like an organized person, I can select one of these. Design practices, that seems like a good place to start. So I'm going to hit save there, and voila, it's there, version 0. We haven't done anything yet. Cool. All right, so let's come back to that. You'll see stuff on your browser tree start as you build things and design things. It'll start to populate. The individual things will populate there. The 2, maybe 3 things that you'll see there: sketches, bodies, components when you get further along, maybe construction planes as well. Maybe a couple more, but those are the main types of things that you'll see in there. Okay, so coming right across the top, okay, there's a lot on this, okay? You're gonna live pretty much right in this corner, this half, okay? So this is pretty much where we're going to live for the most part for the next forever, okay? If you get really good, you might dive into some of this stuff. I've never had the need, okay? Not gonna lie. These tools right here, along these 2 drop downs, that's pretty much as sophisticated as I've gotten in Fusion, and that's pretty darn good for getting started, okay? So let's, kind of stay there for the time being, okay? So this video is getting long, so I don't want to get too much further than that. We've gone over the data panel, saving, the browser tree, kind of your utilities up here at the top. I don't want to go too much further, but let's show you just one more thing. You guys are going to do essentially 3D design. You start with a 2D object, you extrude it into a 3-dimensional object, and then you manipulate that 3-dimensional object into whatever you're trying to build. At the risk of this video getting too long, let's just do one quick thing, okay? You're gonna do a separate lesson on sketches, but let's go ahead and see what this looks like, especially as it relates to the browser tree. So I'm gonna create a sketch, and when I select that, it's gonna ask me which plane, which origin, which plane, you have your X, your Y, and your Z, do you want to design on? And right here, this is essentially the floor. Yeah, let's call this the floor. Okay, so I'm gonna select on this one. Okay, and I'm just gonna make a square. I'm gonna make a center rectangle. I'm not going to add any dimensions or anything like that, and I'm going to hit finish sketch. Okay, So now I have this two-dimensional object. I'm going to select extrude, and I'm going to turn it into a cube. Okay, nothing fancy. Here's my cube, okay? But the reason I wanted to do that is to show you two last things, okay? This video is getting long. Let's get this over with, okay? So the first one is, look what appeared in our data panel. The first one, okay? The first one that appeared is our sketch, okay? So if I make this invisible and make that visible, you can see that our two-dimensional sketch is right there, sketch one. I can rename this if I want, square. I don't think it's a perfect square, but whatever. Okay, and then here's our three-dimensional object, body one. We can name this cube. There we go. All right. Now the last thing, at the risk of this running too long, the last thing I want to talk about is zooming and panning and orbiting. Okay, you might have gotten this from me, like a lesson from this on this in person, but just in case, okay? So if I just on the flywheel on the scroll wheel on my mouse, just scroll in, up and down, and you can zoom in and out. Ooh, fancy, okay? I can click and hold that scroll wheel, and I can pan, so you can look at different things. And then the last thing I can do is hold down Shift, click and drag, and now I'm orbiting, so I can look at the top and bottom and everything else. Up in the top right corner, you can see that your view is changing, okay? You can use this as well. You can just click and hold and go around that way. It's a little bit less efficient, I feel, but you can also just select different views as well. If you want to look at the top, look at the right-hand side, look at the bottom. You can even click these and rotate around, okay? And if you get totally lost and you have no idea what you're looking at, and it's something like this, and you're like, I don't even know where I am, Mr. Riley. This guy right here, click the home button, and voila, your default view comes up, okay? This is foundational stuff. It's super important that you get the hang of all that. It's all about first file management and then just being able to navigate Fusion efficiently, okay? So thanks for sticking with it. This is a long video already, so I gotta quit talking. And let me know if you have any questions. Bye.